Okay, so we're going to dive into a comedy that's, get this, over 2,400 years old. It's called The Frogs by a guy named Aristophanes, but don't let the title fool you. This is not just some silly slapstick. No, this play has a ridiculously serious mission: to save a city that's about to completely collapse by dragging a dead poet out of the underworld. How on earth could that work? Well, let's find out.
But first, before we get into the play itself, I want you to just imagine this for a second. Imagine your society is failing. The whole political system is a total mess, you're losing a huge war, and the culture, the art, the stories you tell yourselves, it all just feels empty and broken. What do you do? I mean, where do you even begin to fix something like that? That was the world that The Frogs was born in.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're talking Athens, 405 BC. And let me tell you, things are not going well. This crisis wasn't just about a few bad plays. No. The very foundations of their democracy, of their entire society, were shaking.
And here's the wild part. Aristophanes connects all of Athens' problems directly back to its art. The city was getting humiliated in the Peloponnesian War, its leadership was in chaos. It just felt like they'd lost their way, Their moral compass was spinning. And for Aristophanes, the theater was like a perfect sad mirror of all this. The great playwrights were gone, and the new stuff just felt shallow. The sickness in the city and the sickness on the stage were basically the same thing. So, with the world falling apart, who's going to be our hero? A brave general? A wise politician? Nope. It's Dionysus, the god of wine, parties, and, this is the important part, theater. And he is just so fed up with how bad the new plays are that he decides he's got to do something. His plan? Go on a quest to the underworld to bring back a truly great poet. And his target is the master, Euripides, who had just died.
And this is where it gets really funny. To make the trip to Hades, Dionysus dresses up as the ultimate hero, Hercules, the toughest guy around, right? But it is all an act. Underneath that hero costume, he's a bumbling, insecure coward who's pretty much scared of his own shadow. This contrast, it's not just a simple joke, it's a brilliant takedown of the kind of leaders Athens had at the time. All show and zero substance. So on his journey, Dionysus runs into the actual frogs from the title. And what do? They just sit there chanting this repetitive, annoying, completely nonsensical sound over and over again. It drives him crazy. But it's symbolic. For Aristophanes, this is what the culture of his day sounded like, just meaningless, repetitive noise. The background chatter of a society that's forgotten what's important.
Okay, so Dionysus finally makes it to Hades. He thinks his plan is simple. Grab Euripides and get out. Easy, right? Well, wrong. He walks right into the middle of a massive feud. It turns out the throne for Best Tragic Poet down in the underworld is up for grabs, and it's about to lead to the ultimate literary showdown.
And I mean, this is a heavyweight championship bout. In one corner, you've got Euripides, the modernist, the realist, the guy Dionysus came to rescue. And in the other corner, the old master himself, Aeschylus, the traditionalist, the war hero, the guy who wrote epic, heroic tragedies. The stage is set for a battle over the very soul of what poetry should be. This debate is really the heart of the whole play. Euripides argues his art is better because it's realistic and logical. He shows people as they are, flaws and all, using everyday language. But Aeschylus fires back, saying that's not the point of art. Art, he says, is supposed to be better than reality. It's supposed to teach us how to be good, to show us noble heroes, to make us better citizens. So you see, they're not just arguing about style. They're arguing about what art is even for. After all this back and forth, Dionysus is totally lost. He has no idea who to pick. So what do? They bring out a giant scale to settle it. And this is where this super intellectual debate gets, well, physical, and honestly pretty hilarious. This scene is just brilliant because it makes the whole argument literal. Each poet has to speak their lines of poetry onto the scale. Euripides goes first, says some of his clever, modern verses, and the scale barely budges. Then it's Aeschylus' turn. He delivers these epic lines about huge ideas like death and destiny, and his side of the scale just slams down. His words literally have more weight. And seeing this, it's like a light bulb goes off for Dionysus. It changes everything for him. Remember, he came down here for purely personal reasons. He just missed Euripides' clever plays. But now he gets it. This isn't about what he wants to watch. This is about what Athens needs to survive. So he chooses Aeschylus. And the key isn't that Aeschylus is an objectively better poet.
It's about which poet's art is more useful at that moment. Sure, Euripides' realism is interesting, but when your city is falling apart, you don't need a mirror showing you all your flaws. You need a model to look up to. You need Aeschylus's art, which calls for duty, for moral strength, and for everyone to pull together. And that, right there, is the powerful message of this ancient comedy. Aristophanes is making this profound argument that art has a job to do in society. It's not just entertainment. It isn't just a passive reflection of the world. At its absolute best, art should be a force for good, a tool that can teach us, inspire us, and actively help shape a stronger community.
Which, of course, brings it all back to us today. I mean, think about it. We are flooded with content, right? Every voice is competing for our attention. Aristophanes' question is more relevant than ever. What kind of art do we actually need right now? If you had to choose one voice, just one creator, one writer, one artist, whose words have the weight to help guide us through our own crazy times, who would you pick? And what does your choice say about the world you want to build?